What's up everyone, welcome to a mod overview on Thaumcraft. So, Thaumcraft is a magical mod that is very common in FTB packs and has a lot to it. So, this video is going to cover the progression through it and how to do a lot of the mechanics. There will be several videos on how to do one of the main mechanics research and also a lot of the items. So, lots of videos because there's just so much to this mod, so let's get right into it. So, the very first steps of Thaumcraft is to make yourself a magic wand. So for that you're going to need some iron nuggets and you're going to craft yourself up 2 iron caps. And with that you need to combine them with a stick and you'll make yourself your first iron capped wooden wand. And with this wand you're going to get yourself your guide to all of Thaumcraft by right clicking a bookcase. Boom, you get a Thermometer. Fancy. So like I said, this is your guide to everything Thaumcraft and you're going to want to keep this on you at any times when you're trying to do Thaumcraft. It's very useful. So this can tell you about, the ore generation, the enchantments, enemies, plants, trees, the Thermometer itself, lots of things. So lots of good stuff to read in here. I will be going over it throughout this video though, if not in one of the other ones. So, alright, so you got your Thermometer, and now you want to start doing stuff in Thaumcraft. So I recommend you do some of the research expertise and then the research mastery first. It's going to be very helpful during research, but in order to do research, you're going to need to get yourself a research table. In order to do that, you're going to need a couple tables, which are not too hard to make, just some slabs and some planks. And you put 2 of them together, and then you take some scribing tools, which you can make with a glass vial or a glass bottle, feather and some ink or black dye, and you're going to right-click on the table. Boom. That makes a research table. From here, you'll be able to see your aspects. As soon as you start, you will not see all these aspects. You will only see the 6 primals, which are air, ignis, water, ordo, perdido, and terra. And you only have a few of them. But as you progress through it, you will unlock more and more of the aspects, and you'll start to see them in here. And you'll also get research points as you scan things. We'll get to that in a second. And those will start to appear in here. Right, another thing you're going to want to make is one of the crafting mechanics in Thaumcraft. And that's the arcane workbench. In order to that, you need a single table that you right-click your wand on top of. And that is the arcane workbench. We'll get to some of that crafting here in just a moment. So, as I was talking about, you want to scan things. So what that means is you want to make yourself a thermometer. This is just the crafting with a couple shards, which are some origin, which will be covered in a different video, and some gold and some glass. So it's just a normal crafting recipe, and that will give you the thermometer. The thermometer. Thermometer will allow you to scan things in the world and allow you to see things such as ore nodes. So all you gotta do is right click and hold and you'll scan things. So I just scanned a grass block and you see in the bottom right I gained a research point for terra and herba, and you can see that 1 terra and 1 herba make up a grass block. If I want to scan a crafting table, if you right click it'll take you into the interface. So what you want to do is you want to shift right click and you'll see I get 4 Fabrico. If you're just starting out, you're probably not going to be able to research or scan a crafting table because Fabrico is a pretty complex aspect. So if we look in here, you'll see Fabrico is made up of Humanus and Instrumentum, and then each of those are made up of a bunch of different things. This Instrumentum is made up of Humanus and Ordo. Humanus is made up of, if I can find it, probably past it. Bestia and Cognito, which are also made up of different things. So it's quite complex. So what you need to do is you need to scan items that work your way up to that. So all the predecessors. So if you wanted to research Vacuous, well, Vacuous might not be the best one. If you want to research Precantatio, we'll do Precantatio. That'll be a good one. So let me find its initial entry. Precantatio is made up of Vacuous and Potentia. And Vacuous, here's Potentia, we'll do Potentia first, it's made up of Ordo and Ignis. So that is just, those are 2 primals, so you should be able to research this as soon as you can. I believe a good source of that is some redstone. So if you scan some redstone, boom, should get some Potentia. You might not be able to do that because it does have machine on it as well. But if you wanted to just look it up, you can find a whole bunch of items and what is actually on them. So I'm going to do Vacuous now, and for that I know a really good one is a bull. So a bull will have just 1 Vacuous. So it does get really addicting to scan all the things, so go ahead and just do that, and you'll get yourself a ton of research points and just a ton of the knowledge, unlocking all the aspects. So very good to do. One of the main things you're going to want to do is every time you find an ore node, you're going to want to scan it, because that will give you a bunch of research points for the primals, which you're going to need. And it'll also show you what kind of aspects are in these nodes. These nodes are very important for the wand, which I'll show you here in just a moment. So, alright, so that's how you scan things, and you start to unlock all the aspects, get your research points, then you'll do your research to unlock different items and stuff throughout the Thaumcraft. Like I said, covered how to do research in a different video. So some of the main progression you're going to want to do is you're going to want to upgrade your wand, which is, I'll spoil it a little bit. You're going to want a great wood wand core and some gold caps, and then after that you'll want a silver wood wand core and thaumium caps. So silver wood is that tree, it's its own natural gen, and great wood is that tree, also its own natural gen. Alright, so let's talk about using the wand. So the wand you're going to need for crafting in the arcane workbench. So if I place in here and I want to craft something, so let me be right back. I'm gonna get all this research done so I can show off some of more complex things here. So be right back 1 sec. Alright, so I now have all the research complete, so I can now show off a bunch of the stuff in Thaumcraft. So one of the main things here is on the main page there is ore nodes, talking about ores in the ore nodes. So node tapping is kind of important because that will help you recharge your wand. So if we look back on here, we see that this has air and terra. So if you look in the top left, your wand up here, it has six vials, and each of those are for the primal aspects. And what you can do is you can hold right click on these nodes, and it will drain the primal aspects out of it and fill up your wand. So now you can see that it drained aspects. Depending on your wand, it has different capacities. 25 is the capacity for the basic iron capped one. So you can hold all 6 of them, 25 of each of them. And a couple things about it is the iron capped one is not a very good wand, and it can drain this node completely. Some of the research will prevent that from happening with better wands. Yeah, I believe node preserver. This one's it. So be warned, the level is controlled, not possible using wands crafted from normal wood and iron. So it will prevent the fully draining of it if you use a better wand. But anyways, so these will regenerate as long as you don't completely drain an aspect. If you completely drain, there's a chance it will regenerate, but there's also a chance that we'll lose that aspect forever. So keep that in mind when you're draining nodes. Alright, so now that we have some of these aspects, let's start crafting with them. So what we would have to do is we place our wand in here, and that will now we have access to 25 air and 25 terra. So if we wanted to do some kind of recipe here, let's do like a jar. So a wood jar is made up of glass panes and a slab. So if we get ourselves some glass panes, and a slab, doesn't matter which one, and we do that recipe, you will see that we need 1.1 aqua, which we do not have. It says insufficient viz V, however you wish to pronounce it, so we can't actually craft this. You see that's 1.1. The reason for this is we're using not a great wand, so it does, as you'll see, it's 110% the average viz cost. So what that means is since it averagely costs 1, with our not so great wand, it makes it cost 1.1. So obviously the higher the cost, the more it's going to cost because of the amount of cost. Yeah. So one way to help against this is there's a research in Artifice for enchanted fabric. This right here will take quite a few primals, and when you make this, you can make yourself some thaumaturgies, robes, and boots and leggings. So all you gotta do is make yourself some of the enchanted fabric and craft this armor up. Another thing that's very helpful is the goggles of revealing. These are like a thermometer for your face. So notice how I can see this node when I have the thermometer out. If I place the goggles of revealing on, I can see the node, and I can clearly see the aspects that are in it without having to use the thermometer. So Very helpful for finding nodes, and if you notice, it says visit discount 522.1%. So now if we look in here, it's now back down to 1 because our robes and our goggles are counteracting the penalty from the wand. So unfortunately I don't have one aqua or else I could craft this. But anyways, that's how you craft with the arcane workbench. So as your aspects get used up, you're gonna have to go back out in the world and, you know, just drain some more nodes. Obviously trying to preserve them, don't let them drain out or else they'll never refill for you. Alright, so that's the arcane workbench. Another crafting mechanic in Thaumcraft is the Crucible. So for this, all you need is a cauldron, and all you gotta do is give it a whack with the wand. It won't cost any of this, but you'll see it'll turn the cauldron into a crucible. Nice. So all you gotta do for this, you gotta just give it a little bit of fire. So if we just get ourselves some netherrack and some flint and steel. Oops. Flint and steel. Give it a little bit of fire. You'll see now that it's fire, and all we gotta do is get a little bit of water. So you fill it up with water, and now after a little bit you'll see that it starts to boil. There it goes. So you can see the little bubbles, that means it's boiling and it's ready to go. So now what we can do with this is we can craft certain items. If you look in Thermometer, there's an alchemy tab, and this does a lot of the recipes for crafting things through alchemy. So Nitor is a pretty easy one. So you're going to need 3 Ignis, 3 Lux, and 3 Potentia from items in the world. So remember how I said Potentia is on redstone? So you'd throw enough redstone until you have 3 Potentia, then 3 Lux and 3 Ignis, and then you're going to throw some glowstone dust in. So let me demonstrate this real fast. So a couple of good ones, or a good way to make Nitor, is you use some coal and you use some torches. So let me research these for you. I'll scan them for you. So we toss these down. You'll see a torch has 1 Lux and coal has 2 Ignis and 2 Potentia. So if you gotta do a little bit of at least common multiple here. So if we have, I actually want 1 more coal. So if we have 2 of these times 3, so that gives us 6 Potentia, 6 Ignis, and then 6 Lux. So if we go back to the recipe, you'll see that's 3, 3, and 3 with 1 dust. So if we double this, we need to double the glowstone. So now if we get ourselves 2 glowstone, we can now make 2 of these at once. So I'll stay on the cauldron because it will damage you. But so you want to throw your catalyst. So that's what this item here is. It's called your catalyst. You want to throw that in last. So if we toss in our 3 coal, you will see we have Ignis and Potentia in there. And you want to be kind of quick about it or else the aspects will break down. You toss in your glowstone and boom, we have 2 Nitor. Nitor is good for the cauldron, which you can do, so you can get rid of your fire. You no longer need it. Put Nitor there, it looks a lot better, and that will heat your cauldron. As you see, it's still boiling. So that will keep that boiling. You can see that some of the water got used up. If you have leftover aspects, say you throw in a piece of dirt, you got some terra in there. You didn't want terra in there. If you shift right click with the wand, it'll empty the cauldron. Sometimes you can get a little bit of backlash from the cauldron, releasing these aspects into the world. So I'm gonna see if I can get some after this. Let's get something that has a lot of aspects. Let's get like a pulverizer. maybe it'll take it. Oh yeah, see, too many aspects and it's starting to overflow. So you want to drain that, and you'll see, boom, you're gonna get some gaseous flux and some liquid flux. It's just not good. So you want to just put some blocks over it to clean it up. There are other ways in Thaumcraft to clean this up, but for now, the easiest way is just to place a block over it. Alright, so that's pretty much the basics of alchemy. You know, normal alchemy, just using the Crucible. So the next step you'd want to take is breaking down aspects into Essentia. And this is going to be very important for the next crafting mechanic known as Infusion. So in order to break aspects down into Essentia, you're going to need to get yourself an alchemical furnace. Oh, actually, let me show you in the Thermometer. So you're going to need to research this. Keep in mind, you probably have to do this in the order that I'm saying, because you cannot research an infusion until you do Essentia distillation. So make yourself an alchemical furnace, which is furnace, a crucible, and some arcane stone blocks, which aren't too difficult, just some stone around any shard. and you can craft them, make them look all fancy. Another thing you'll want is some Essentia tubes. Yeah, pretty easy to make as well. Quicksilver comes from Cinnabar, which is a generation. And on top of this, you're going to want, I should show you the arcane alembics. So alembics made of so, some silverwood planks from the trees to make the V filters, and then make them as so. I don't know, you can have several of these on top. So you can have anywhere between 1 and, I want to say like 3 or 4. It could probably higher than that. So you see that they connect up. Now what will happen is if you give this some fuel, so some coal works. There's also Alimentum, which is in Thaumcraft, which helps a lot more because it breaks it down. So what will happen is if I place this in and I give it an aspect, so Nitor actually, let me change my mind. If I scan Nitor first, so you can see what's on it. See, it has, if you hold shift, by the way, while hovering over it, you'll see what's on it. It has 3 Lux, 1 Sensus, 1 Potentia, and 1 Ignis. So if I toss this guy in and he gets melted up, you'll see you'll get a purple goop here, and it will start to go down. Alimentum will make it go down quicker. So if you wanted to get some Alimentum, you could. And you'll see that it will start to distill into the different aspects that's made out of. Since I only have 2 alembics, it'll only have 2 here, and the rest will stay as the purple goop for now. So now what you want to do is you want to get this Essentia out. So the basic way to do it is a glass vial. The downside to the glass vial is you need to have 8 in here. So if I right click, nothing's going to happen. If I had 8 in here, I could pick it up, and then I could place it straight into a warded jar, which is what I tried to make in the table. So I would place it in like that. But you have to have 8, which is the downside to it. A better way is using the Essentia tube to do so. And you'll see that drained out the Ignis is now in here. A good thing to have for these are some drawer labels. So if you only want Ignis to go into here, you label it as Ignis. See, looks really nice too. So it's now Ignis, and now only Ignis will ever go into that jar. So even if I drain it with a shift right click empty hand, this Lux will not drain into this jar until I remove the label. Should at least. Might need to replace it. Boom. See, Lux. We can label it as Lux. Alright, so that's how you distill some Essentia. You can get Golems to do this. I haven't gone over Golems, but Golems pretty much are your automation through Thaumcraft. So Golems, it's also another research tab. If you create them, you can give them a core, and then you can upgrade them as well. So there's lots of different cores. So if you just want them to gather, if you want them to harvest crops, you want them to garden area, fill, empty, sort, there's a bunch of things that they can do. So I'll leave that to you to check them out. I'll just show you a quick way to use them. If you get yourself a golem, so a straw golem, place him down. He won't do anything, he'll just look real derpy until you give him a core. So if I give him let's give him a gather core, but let's pick him up real fast. So there's a Golemancer bell. It's all in the Thermometer if you need to figure out how to make it. I'm just gonna shift left click to pick him up. So if I put him down on a chest, like so, and I place him on the chest, the shift right click, or just a right click actually. So now he's bound to that chest, and he has a certain range. If I give him the Golem animation core for gather, you'll see he's alive. So if I drop anything on the ground, such as a bucket, he should pick it up and place it in the chest. There. So that's the basic uses for golems. Like I said, there's a ton that you can do with them, and you can read through some of the notes in the Thermometer in order to see some of their full uses. So there's a lot you can do. Like they can even do this process for you. Place the items in, and they'll sort all the Essentia into the appropriate jars. So they're quite helpful. All right. So anyways, let's move on to Infusion. So Infusion is pretty awesome. It's a really cool way to do it, and you're going to need to know this process and also have it researched in order to do this. So to make ourselves the Infusion altar, we need in the middle an arcane pedestal with some arcane stone bricks around. So this is just the arcane stone blocks in a 2x2 with some arcane stone blocks on top. And then on the top of these guys, you will need, get yourself the runic matrix. So this is actually a little bit harder to craft, and you will have to research it in the artifice tab. So Infusion, I'll tell you how to make it. It takes 40 ordo, so you will need a better wand than the iron capped one. This will also tell you how to make it, and you'll need 25 of each aspect in order to actually create it. So if I place that on top, break the block. So now this is the basic altar. So all you gotta do is get a good wand. So I have a Thaumcraft one already ready. And we give this a right click on the runic matrix. Boom, it'll form. That is your infusion altar. What you want is some pedestals around it. You can have as many as you want, as long as they're somewhat near it. It should recognize it. Boom. Alright, so now that is your basic infusion altar. There are ways to stabilize the altar, some of which being skulls. So if you put wither skulls around it, it'll make it more stable. By stable, I mean that there are some infusion processes that have instability. So this one's negligible, so it's not very much. So you'll probably be fine without any stability. But there are some, and especially some of the add-ons, if I show you real fast, I can get pretty crazy. Instability high, and it can get even worse than that. Oops. Dangerous. So, as you see, they do get more and more, so stability is going to be good to have. A couple more useful ones are tallow candles. So, place those down. They also look pretty nice. So, there's a few things that will provide instability to it. There's some of them. There's also crystal clusters, which are just the shards. But also look really fancy. Alright, so this is our infusion altar. A little bit of stability. So in order to do one of these recipes, what you need to do is you need to get yourself, well, you need to find the recipe first of all. It's like Boots of the Traveler. This will be a good one. Fine, why not? So you need some leather boots, some feathers, some enchanted fabric, some air shards, looks like any fish, and you need to have 25 iter and 25 volatus around it. So you need to have these jars filled with those aspects near it. So I'm gonna get this stuff ready and we'll be back and I'll show you infusion crafting. Alright, so I got all the items together, so you need to set this up. It's kind of similar to how it's set up on here. You don't need to put it in a specific order, but what you want to do is you want to make sure that you balance it as much as possible. So if I place 2 items here, I want to try and place 2 items here. So 1 feather and 1 fish. So try and balance it out best as possible. It makes it more stable for whenever you do this. And I have my at least 25 of these aspects. I recommend that you have more, as well as more of the items that go around the outside. The middle one's fine. You only need 1 of those. But because what can happen is this stability, if something goes wrong, which I don't think it will for this one, but it can knock items off or completely destroy them. So if something gets destroyed, you want to have more on hand. And if it's waiting on an item, it will drain more aspects. So you want to have more available of each in order to make sure this infusion goes well. So in order to start the infusion, all you're going to do is right click with your wand, and you'll see it will show the aspects that are required, and you'll see that it will start to drain from the jars, as so, and it'll start going into the altar. And you can see with Wela and on top of the runic matrix, the aspects are going down. So once those are complete, you'll see that the items are going to be sucked in. So that should happen here in just a moment. Alright, so now you should see, look, that shard is getting sucked in. The other shard, it does this randomly, so just keep that in mind. You do want to keep watch in case something does get knocked off or destroyed. It's a feather. And the fish. Alright, and that should make yourself the Boots of the Traveler. So these boots are pretty cool. Place them on and you can run faster, and you get uphill step assist, which I kind of had because of my sash already, but anyways, they're pretty nice. So that's the basics of infusion crafting. So this has been kind of the basics of Thaumcraft. Obviously I have not touched a lot of things. Thaumcraft is such a large mod, and I haven't even began to touch on much of it, but these are the processes for it. Like I said, a separate video for how to do the research. These are all the crafting mechanics for it. Infusion crafting being the most intricate. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. Hope this was helpful, and stay tuned for the next videos on like some of the more items, some more in-depth stuff. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed. So I'll see you guys next time. See ya.